Assalamu alaikum, greetings and welcome to the Munir Muhammad Show. I'm your host Jamil Muhammad, and brothers and sisters, we have an exciting show for you today. But before I introduce our guest, I'd like to remind you as always to please follow us on our social media platforms, which include Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to go to our YouTube page, click the like and the subscribe buttons so you can be notified whenever we post a show. Brothers and sisters, I'm very happy to be joined today with my guest. She is running for the 5th Sub-Circuit for the Cook County Judge, and she is Miss Judielyn Smith. How are you, sister?
I am well. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let me say, I'm sorry, Attorney Judielyn Smith. I want to make sure that I put that out there.
Thank you.
Thank you. And, you know, it's wonderful to have you in studio with us today. I know that you are running for the position of the 5th Sub-Circuit on June the 28th in that primary. And so why don't you tell our viewing audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, Judielyn Smith, I'm running for judge in the 5th Judicial Sub-Circuit, which runs roughly from 26th Street to 75th Street and from our beautiful Lake Michigan to Western Avenue.
Okay.
I'm running on a platform of justice for all the time. Justicia para todos, siempre. And included in justice for all the time, of course, is respect for all the time, and fairness and impartiality to all the time.
You know, and you mentioned that as your platform, and, you know, so you threw your Spanish in there. I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that the attorney speaks several languages, but, you know, I know that you're well-rounded, and, you know, your goal is to have understanding. And, you know, when you think about a judge and supposed to be impartial, those are attributes that you expect, but you know there's something that you don't always see. And so tell me, why is fairness so important to you?
Fairness is important because judges have such a huge responsibility to follow the Constitution. When you follow the Constitution, of course, there's impartiality, but we just want to make sure, I want to make sure that everyone knows that that is how I will conduct myself. I will look at the facts as presented to me, apply it to the law, and make sure that everyone's constitutional rights are being safeguarded. You
know, I know that you have over 28 years of experience as an attorney. Tell us, our viewing audience, some of the things that you've done as far as your practice.
Oh my goodness. Well, I have clerked for 2 appellate level judges, one in Colorado and the other here in Illinois, the late Justice William Cousins Jr. I also argued before the Illinois Appellate Court and was very successful with that case. And I have spent nearly 18 years as an assistant public defender, and I am now assigned to the Felony Trial Division. I would like to also mention that as an assistant appellate defender, I won a seminal case wherein the Illinois Appellate Court reversed and remanded in part a case that I wrote stating that a subsection of the no knock and announce search warrant statute was unconstitutional.
You know, something that you bring that up at the appellate level, because of course we know that no-knock warrants have received a lot of attention in the last few years.
Yes.
And you also mentioned as a public defender, Roosevelt, and many times, you know, we hear more about prosecutors and, you know, for-profit, if I guess you say that, trial attorneys, but the public defender's office and that role, how has that experience shaped you in your quest for fairness and how you look at the justice system?
Well, I have learned so much from my clients and from just my life's experiences. And I have to start with my experiences studying at the Sorbonne in Paris, France, to teaching English in Japan and working as an attorney in Japan. Now, can you imagine a black woman from the south side of Chicago walking the streets of Tokyo or Kofu, Yamanashi in Japan, and or even in France? So my experiences abroad, wherein I met so many different people of different ethnicities, has helped with that. Okay. And it just let me understand how important multiculturalism is. And as a part of that is people who are indigent, who don't have a voice, that need to be heard and should be protected, and their constitutional rights should be protected. So to try to get back to your question, it's all about multiculturalism. Multiculturalism could be socioeconomic status. It could be the way a person looks. So I've learned through my travels and from working with my clients that it's about acceptance, and it's about being fair, honest, and open to people and people's experiences.
Has that experience abroad, and I know that many, it was when you were studying and at one time, but you were also a practicing attorney in Japan. How does that environment, a culture, even their judicial system compare when you look at what we have here in the States?
I mainly did commercial or business type deals when I was in Japan. But what I believe is that it's all about preparation, and I didn't get too much into the criminal justice system in Japan, but one of these days I'd like to study that a little bit more.
Yeah. In your experience, what 18 years you're working as a prosecutor, was there a defining moment or a situation that occurred that inspired you to run for judge?
Yes, and I just want to say that I've spent nearly 18 years working as an assistant public defender.
Right.
I think that I've thought about it for a while, but the moments that really made me think, oh my goodness, Judy, it's just time to do this, actually happened around the time of COVID, when everybody's on Zoom and you're laser focused on the judge and the judge is speaking, and you're thinking about, okay, if I were the judge, this is what I would do, this is how I would comport myself. And I thought, well, I can do this, and I want to do this because I want to make sure that everyone's constitutional rights are protected.
And, well, with those constitutional rights, the innocent until proven guilty, that's what the law says. However, when you have media influence, political jargon, sometimes the sentiment feels like, okay, you're guilty and then you have to prove your innocence. When you look at television programs, you see the DA's office, the prosecutors, all of them. You might see a public defender. So tell me, in that role for you, what's the relationship or the rapport like? I mean, does TV and media hurt that narrative? I mean, when you are trying to defend someone, how do you work against the narrative of those biases that are already out there? Or do you have to block it out and just...
I block out everything, and I'm laser focused on my client's constitutional rights and protecting my client's constitutional rights.
How do you, and I'm assuming that this will tie to your courtroom decorum, if you're elected, but how do you establish that trust with a client as a public defender?
Communication. That's the main thing, communication.
And if you're elected, how important is that communication, that rapport to the people who come before you?
I want to impart to everyone who comes before me that I am no nonsense. There's no way to cheat this.
Yeah.
I am going to be fair and impartial to absolutely everyone. I don't care what you're wearing. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you may have or may not have. I am going to be fair because that's what justice is all about.
Yeah. Is fairness in the courtroom, but it's based, you have to be fair based on the information presented to you. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the law.
Right, and the law. And how, and I know that you are an expert in public service and the law with that, but what do you think some of the biggest misconception or perceptions are about court or the law? Because, people look at television or they see videos and they go in and do things, but they may not be fully aware of the law. I mean, do you educate them, or, how do you feel as far as, the community, everyday residents, their knowledge or awareness of some of the laws?
I think one of the main things that television has it has just created a misperception is the law is fast. We see a television show, and within that hour, they've done everything. But the law isn't not always that fast. Justice is not always that fast. There's a huge process after the person is charged with the case.
Sure, right.
There's a discovery process, which means the assistant state's attorney has to turn over all of the police reports, body-worn cameras by the police officers now. If there are any other witnesses, additional witnesses, there's just so much to it. When I think people think that it should happen overnight, and that is a process. It actually takes time.
Yes, ma'am. And we hear a lot of conversation about bail reform and bond. So, as a judge, there's a criteria, I'm assuming, of why you make decisions as far as bond?
Yes.
Okay. And how, since you're not, a judge yet, but I know that you have to remain impartial. You have to be laser focused on things, but just talk about the discipline that it takes, because you see the news, you hear things out there. Or is that discipline something that you already develop over time in this line of work?
Well, you mean as a judge?
Yes.
Well, there is, I think judges have to be impartial. And of course they have the opportunity, the judges will hear what's called a proffer. They'll hear a little bit about the case, and then the defense side will present the judge with what is called mitigation. So the judge has to weigh the nature of the crime and how serious that crime is with the person's mitigation, some mitigating factors. This person is an upstanding person in the community. He doesn't have he or she doesn't have a criminal background at all. So there's certain things that the judge has to weigh in determining what the bail amount is going to be.
And and that could be true with that, but I know now it's always second guessing a judge,
And if I may say,
yes.
The judge has to be given that information too.
Right. Okay.
The judge has to be given the background. If the judge doesn't know the criminal background, if there is one, how else would the judge be able to impose a bail?
Well, that's a key point. I'm glad that you said that. Let me ask you, as an attorney, when you were younger, how did you fall in love with the law? I mean, how did you know you wanted to go into this line of work?
I knew that I wanted to help people. And another little thing is, my mother said I never shut up as like a 3-year-old or 4-year-old. But I knew that I wanted to help. And this is a way that I can help people.
And the Fifth Sub-Circuit, running for that, what would you tell our viewing audience the importance of voting for you, of taking it seriously? Because historically, many people in our community, they didn't take the chance to get to know the judges. They might have just gone through there. But why is this campaign, this election, so vital?
This campaign, I'm asking you to vote for me, Judielyn Smith. I have over 30 years of trial and appellate experience, as you've heard, and I also have over 30 years of multicultural experiences, which include studying in Paris, France at the Sorbonne, and teaching English and working as an attorney in Japan. I'm asking you to vote for me so that I'm your Judge Judy, because I have the requisite experience, integrity. I volunteer at 2 community gardens where I donate organic seeds and the bountiful harvests to those in the community. I have integrity. I believe in our system. I believe in our Constitution and following it. And I'd ask for you to punch 194 and vote for me, Judielyn Smith. Judielyn Smith. I want to be your Judge Judielyn Smith. Thank you.
Well, I guess that's reason enough. Well, you mind if we take a break and come back? You gonna stay with us?
I don't mind at all.
Okay. Brothers, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with more conversation with our sister, Judielyn Smith. We'll be right back.
This portion of the Munir Muhammad Show is brought to you by East Lake Management, innovative solutions for building communities of the future today.
I've always been a fighter. I came into this world at a mighty 2 pounds, 9 ounces, but I kept fighting every day to stay alive. The fight in me continued throughout my childhood and beyond. I always wanted to make a positive difference in the world and to help people who otherwise did not have a voice. Now I'm running for judge. We need judges who understand what it means to be disadvantaged and need a fair shake at justice. I'm ready to serve the citizens of Cook County. Vote for Deidre Bauman for Cook County Circuit Court Judge, the voice for equal justice.
Searching for a restaurant that serves delicious home-cooked meals at an affordable price like your grandmother used to make? Well, the search is over. Stop by McAuthor's, the new talk of Chicago. We offer a warm atmosphere with friendly service and excellent meals ranging from carry-out, dine-in, or catering for your special events. McAuthor's is open 7 days per week from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. Come visit us at
5412
West Madison Street or call us at 773-261-2316.
I love you, Emma.
All right, Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We are back continuing our conversation with attorney Judielyn Smith, candidate for the 5th Sub-Circuit, right?
Yes.
Okay, Cook County. Let me ask you, I know that you're well qualified, you shared that, shared your experience, but the campaign trail is new. What kind of feedback have you been receiving from prospective voters?
I feel that I'm the people's candidate, and I'm a people person, and every time I'm out on the campaign trail, whether I'm placing one of my yard signs or I'm at an L train stop, I'm getting such positive feedback. Now, people do tell me that they have concerns about judges, and I understand that, and I listen to them, and then I tell them about my experience, not my experiences, but my qualifications, and how I will comport myself as a judge. Just very positive experience. For example, if I may,
Yes,
I was at the 69th Street Dan Ryan station and passing out my palm cards, and a gentleman came up to me because, one, he couldn't believe that the actual candidate was there actually handing out the palm cards. I'm like, yes, that's me with more makeup. But he also started speaking to me in French. And so that meant that he read my palm card, and he was very excited that I was there among the people speaking to my people.
Yes.
So it's just been exciting, and I've been well received, and I'm grateful for it.
You know, you mentioned that people did have concerns about judges. Do you find when you hear those things, is it based on their personal experience with a decision that's made, or is it more media, or do you ever get that deep into it?
I think it's a combination of the two.
Okay.
And also not understanding the role of a judge, and watching a lot of TV, because TV, you know, the TV shows portray judges a little differently sometimes.
Right. And so, you know, and I've said that because from an education standpoint, a lot of our people have to become more aware and clear on the responsibilities of judges. And so you're working up to June 28th with that. What have you learned, or how has this process changed you so far? Or have you grown from it?
I think I've grown. I've become even more gratified from speaking to people out on the streets. Just the other day, I was placing a yard sign, and a man said, "Are you Judielyn Smith?" And I said, "Well, yes, I am." And he came over to me, and he shook my hand. He asked me for a palm card before I could even give him one. And then he asked me for more because he wanted to pass them out. And he also offered to help with the yard signs. So it's just making me, I'm just so grateful to be out with the people, with my people, and getting such good feedback.
You know, it's, we were talking off air, and I said how much respect I have for people who are running for judge, because you're essentially running on your character. You know, you can't give an opinion or a take of this or that or make certain promises except to be fair. And so, especially when you say being with our people who historically do not feel that they've been treated fairly in the justice system, how important is it for you to be able to not only relate to them, but explain the law so that they can better understand and set the proper expectations?
I think it's very important. I think it's also very important for people to see a judge who looks like they do. I mean, my goodness, I'm a black woman. I've been a black woman all my life. And not only that, I've lived all over the world. So I do understand what discrimination feels like, both here and abroad, and I've decided to rise above it. So I just want people to know that I know what discrimination is. So of course, I know how important it is to remain impartial and to be fair and to be respectful, because those are very important things.
If is there a website that people could go to if they want to learn more about your candidacy?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's www.judie, Judie, the number 4, judge.com.
Okay, that one more time.
www.judie4judge.com.
I'm not gonna. I just want to hear you say W. You pronounce that. It says W so well. This is, I never heard like that. But you know what? I want you to take a moment, look into the camera, and tell the people why they should vote for you one final time on June 28th.
Thank you so much. On June 28th, I'm asking you to vote for me, Judielyn Smith, because I not only have the 30 years of trial and appellate experience, I believe in justice for all the time. Justicia para todos, siempre. Punch 194, Judielyn Smith. Thank you.
Well, thank you so very much for joining us, and I wish you success with your candidacy, and I look forward to having you on the show again in the future, okay?
Thank you so much, and it would be my pleasure to return.
Thank you. Brothers and sisters, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with another interesting guest. We'll be right back.
You are watching The Munir Muhammad Show, a production of Crow. Please take time to join us at Crow, the Coalition for the Remembrance of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Crow is the National Archive of the Nation of Islam and houses one of the largest collections of historical, audio, video, and print documentation on the total Black experience. Crow is located at 2435 West 71st Street, the corner of 71st and Crow Lane. We are open 7 days a week, 9 to 5. Our number, 773-925-1600. We look forward to seeing you at Crow.
Eat and Run Chicken and Fish has the only chicken you can reheat and eat. It's good as mother's and better than the others. It is the chicken even mothers love. We've been serving the community for over 30 years. We cook with 100% vegetable oil and are open 7 days a week, including holidays. We're located at 87th and Hermitage. Contact us at 773-429-1812 for your takeout order, or let us provide all your catering needs. For the best chicken of your life, it's Eat and Run.
I've always been a fighter. I came into this world at a mighty 2 pounds 9 ounces, but I kept fighting every day to stay alive. The fight in me continued throughout my childhood and beyond. I always wanted to make a positive difference in the world and to help people who otherwise did not have a voice. Now I'm running for judge. We need judges who understand what it means to be disadvantaged and need a fair shake at justice. I'm ready to serve the citizens of Cook County. Vote for Deidre Bauman for Cook County Circuit Court Judge, the voice for equal justice.
This is Sister Sajda Muhammad. We are proud to announce that the Sajda House commemorative Elijah coins are finally here. As we renovate and restore the former home of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have recycled the old copper gutters and downspouts and created a 1 ounce 39 millimeter coin made of 100% pure copper. Each coin is professionally graded and has its own barcode and registration number. This priceless heirloom, made from recycled copper from the messenger's home, is now available at sajdahouse.com.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters, and we are back. Brothers and sisters, I'm so pleased to be joined in this segment by a man who I respect, who's done so much work on behalf of our people and continue to do so now. As you know, we respect legacy here at Crow and can appreciate that. So I am pleased to be joined by not only our friend, our brother Reverend Jesse Jackson. How are you, sir?
Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here.
all the time.
Yes, sir. We appreciate that. I know you do. And we're joined by our sister, Reverend Janette Wilson. How are you, sister?
I'm great.
Good. Thank you. And thank you, brother. Let me open up by saying this. As a student and follower of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, someone who appreciates and loves our people and legacy, as the son of Munir Muhammad, who you've been a friend, a confidant, and supporter of, I have to commend you on your work that you've done throughout your life helping our people. and you really don't get enough credit that you deserve. Being here in Chicago, I know we talk about Harold Washington and how he inspired us as a community, but you in your presidential candidacy, you know, in 84 and 88, inspired so many at that time and the work that you continue to do. So thank you so much.
I was inspired by somebody. You know, I was jailed July 1960, 62 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Jailed at that time, then jailed continuously to break down barriers.
Yes,
we're having our Rainbow Bush Convention June 18th, 22nd, 1822. When people who are listening to come to it, it'll be free this year. We're not charging anything to come. Want people to come and get a membership when they do come.
Yes, sir.
But it's free. Many people, the COVID economics have been terrible on our people.
Yes.
We're not meeting at the holiday at the hotel, meeting at the cultural center.
Okay.
So the price is minimal, you know.
Yes, sir.
People who come to a kind of it's an international convention. That's sad that we're giving out $1 million in scholarships. $1 million in scholarships.
$1 million scholarship. And this is the 56th annual one. So you've been doing this a while, brother, helping the people.
Yeah, we have $25,000 scholarship for Toyota. 10. And they get scholarship if they get B average. They maintain that B average, they get it every 4 years, every year.
Okay.
They work at Toyota in the summertime. They graduate, they have a knowledge of how manufacturing operation works.
Yes, sir.
It's been for that money. That's a big deal. Also, Helene Gale, she was the foundation in Chicago.
Chicago Trust.
Chicago Trust.
She's her president of Spelman College.
Okay.
It's a big deal for us. That afternoon, expect Peter Buttigieg of Transportation Secretary. Because he's especially the mayors. Mayors need the infrastructure. He has the infrastructure money. Also, we're doing a job fair there, right, Janette?
Yes, sir. We're doing a job fair, about 20 different companies to help young people either go from high school to career or from college to internships to career choices. This is going to be a great day. And Facebook, which is now Meta, is going to do metaverse certifications so people can really get into the technology and prepare for the workforce.
So the first day will be at Rainbow Bush headquarters.
Okay.
The next day, Bishop Howard Smith is giving me an honor.
All right.
On Father's Day, I'm grateful for that. A big rally in front of the headquarters on 50th and Drexel.
Okay.
If there's an overflow, if not, we'll just be in an auditorium. If the weather's bad, we plan to have at least 2,000 men, 75 for justice. We must protect our neighborhoods.
Yes, sir.
That means protecting our children. We cannot be silent when they have guns. Guns and drugs have been involved in our communities just to destroy us, make us destroy each other.
Yes. Tell me, this event, you know, the conference, with it going on for 56 years, I know that you're pleased with the scholarships, but talk about the impact you've had on the young people and why it's so important that people support what we're doing here.
Well, I think not only the scholarships, we've taken young people on college tours. Reverend Jackson has challenged corporate America to fund the college tours so our young people, many of whom have never seen Lake Michigan, begin to see themselves in a broader context, be able to go to historic black colleges and universities, see historic sites in Alabama, Mississippi, where learn their history firsthand, and apply to colleges where they can see themselves in charge, presidents and deans of schools.
Cameron's a good example.
Cameron Barnes, our youth director, graduated from Central State.
Okay.
And so many of our young people would never even imagine college, and certainly not a college headed by African Americans. And so we have students that will be graduating from Howard and University of Chicago, but
it's been a graduation season for me. Jessica's daughter, graduates from UCLA on next Sunday,
okay.
Saturday.
Then your other granddaughter.
Leah's daughter from Tulane. Jessica's third from the International School in Washington. Hannah Sharif, one of our little daughters in Push Excel. So I've been hopping and skipping graduation. It's been a big deal.
Congratulations, and it is a big deal.
So all of them will usher in the other graduates that are from around the country.
Patton, University of Chicago, look at him.
Yeah, he's One of those. He was a double major and a double minor, and one of the genius graduates.
Yes, brothers, we have a young man in the studio here today who's also graduating, referring to, and you know, you all have a history of helping so many, and it gives up, and it speaks to your longevity. But, you know, Saturday, in addition, you said Secretary of State Buttigieg is going to be here, is right, correct?
Secretary of
Not Secretary of State, Transportation. I'm sorry,
yes.
Right.
And we're inviting mayors and other elected officials. You need to understand how this infrastructure money will flow into your city, your suburb, into your state. And so Secretary Buttigieg will be here.
We don't know how to access these monies. So we were around the state. Our President of the Senate,
Walsh is the Speaker of the House.
Go around the state. People who have been down so long that they don't reach up even for sunlight.
Right.
That's a big deal. That Monday, Sunday is a big deal. We're going to have a men's rally. Okay. As far as Father's Day, Men's and Sons Day. It's our Juneteenth Day. We were known liberty from slavery. Big deal to us at that time.
Yes, sir.
So, in that night at Cleveland's fellowship, gospel concert featuring Reverend Davis Brooks and Vicky Winans. And Thomas, it's going to be a great day of celebration.
So we're saying, brothers and sisters, we have something for you the entire weekend.
Entire week.
All the way through. So you can definitely come through. And is information available on the website?
Go to rainbowpush.org and you can register free. And then the only thing you're going to have to pay for will be the meals each day. And you can register online, rainbowpush.org. Monday, we have the Assistant U.S. Attorney General, Kristen Clark, will be with us talking about what we're doing for criminal justice reform and voting rights. Attorney Barbara Unwine, Reverend, has put together a powerful panel to talk about what's happening all around the country that she's been doing. She's doing a Southern crusade to protect our voting rights this election. From Georgia, throughout the state of Georgia, South Carolina, and around the 11 southern states that Reverend Jackson carried when he ran for president.
The first Redistricting ended when the shot was fired in Fort Sumter, South Carolina. Civil War occurred. Interesting that we give so much credit to Lincoln and everybody. When the war was over, the census remained census. Congress remained congressman. So really, we beat the soldiers on the field, but the infrastructure remained the same.
That's right.
So slave masters became segregation masters.
That's right.
The more violent segregation masters than slaves. Slaves were 24 years whipped in line. It's kind of predictable. Bossocracy. They killed 5,000 blacks, lynched them between 1880 and 1940. We lynched without one indictment. It said that Emmett Till was killed, murdered brutally and all that. But if we had one juror, they could have hung the juror. We couldn't vote. Only those who vote can serve on juries. Back to our young people, we were trying to get every high school senior around this and register and vote. Come for a serious diploma in one hand, voter card in the other. But what that means is that 3.3 million youth, and if Biden's program works, if we get to keep the Senate, you free community colleges. That means that you have access to beauticians and barbers, healthcare workers, and labor of all sorts. City colleges are a big deal, but they cost so much money.
Right.
If you in fact come out of high school, you can go to the city college, you can aspire to college. If you look at the $100,000 debt schools,
can't do it.
You give up.
It's people that graduate to come out with bills as much as mortgages sometimes.
That's right, and that's why they don't buy property. They can't.
Yes. But, you know, you mentioned voting and the education around that, because there's so much apathy in the political system, but just to be able to vote and then educate yourself so you can empower the people you want to. I mean,
see, young people don't realize that every state legislator decides on the college tuition for the universities located in that state, the state-supported schools. And so when you see tuition rising, you need to be checking with your state legislator. Why did you vote for a tuition increase for me? I'm barely making it. And these young people have to know they have the power to change the conditions. You don't
Teachers have some obligations. It's a system. One, they should teach them the conflict, the voter card, and the registration. They should know who the all person is.
Right.
The district superintendent, who the state legislators are, the congressmen. They should know. That should basic high school education.
Right.
Also, should they be able to get 1,000 churches connected with Janette ministers, organized to fight back. They'll be Tuesday, right? Am I right?
On Monday, remember we have the ministers are coming Tuesday, but Monday we have the sports roundtable, and we have an initiative to create new markets in sports. You got Ricketts from the Cubs and Reinsdorf from the White Sox, talking about new opportunities beyond the playing field.
A lot of folks last year on the coach. Well, that won't be hard because our coaches all have been winning. Lebby Smith, bad Super Bowl without a quarterback. I mean,
yeah.
And so he has a job at Houston now. The real deal, as I see it, is that the procurement budget, they lease cars, they have food stuff. 65% black football teams should be eating stuff from Chicago Chicken and Waffle and eating stuff from MacArthur on the west side and Dusters. They should have access to that contract.
Yes.
Kids eat what they see, but we must. I remember one time we got this White Sox, and Telluride cleaners. Joe Caldwell went to them and asked for the right to be the cleaners for the team. Part of our initiative at that time. Ramsdorf agreed. He got the contract to clean the White Sox. He did such a good job. He knocked every uniform that comes to town, foreign out of town or Chicago. That's up in business 10-20%. They lease cars. We got black car dealer here. They lease cars. So the thing in the procurement budget, that's why that's such a big deal to us. Because that's where the money is. One is the Chicago Bears camp about 3 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
300 cars in the lot. They were selling popcorn and peanuts. Marketing and advertising and all the stuff that makes up infrastructure football. So we're going to do that. I also want to say that Monday night is the international session.
Okay.
Because of Ukraine and Haiti and all that. We cannot leave Haiti out the mix on this thing.
Thank you for saying.
Haiti's the poorest nation in our hemisphere. Haiti is the creditor, we're the debtor. We owe credit. We owe Haiti. Ukraine owes America. America owes Haiti. When Haiti was fighting America was fighting for the revolution.
Haiti.
Thousands of Haitian soldiers came. It's on a plaque in downtown Savannah, Georgia. Thanking the Haitians for helping them. They died for this country. They went back home and Napoleon to do his thing in Haiti. Louverture defeated him. He's back home packing. The great Napoleon beat by Louverture. And so America never forgave him, but as the first slave uprising was successful. And so because of that, America put an embargo on Haiti for 30 years for defeating Napoleon. It's important to know this about Haiti, because Haiti once manufactured every baseball Babe Ruth ever hit came out of Haiti, manufacturing capital. Columbus only got as far as Haiti, in the mainland America. Haiti is a big deal to us. We must appreciate the significance of Haiti, Haitians people, and we must fight for its democracy, and for it to come out of poverty.
Well said, and I'm glad because we don't pay enough attention to the history behind things, because Haiti has always been mistreated in the United States when you look at that, and all of the aid and support we could show other places. Even when you look at when the people were coming in the border of Texas, how they immediately went down there with the Haitian people and treated them.
Horses kicking them.
Right.
Sent them back in cardboard boats.
Let me ask you with the ministers coming now, when is that?
That's Tuesday, the 21st, June 21st.
Okay.
And really pulling together faith leaders across faith traditions.
Okay.
It's not just Christians, it's Christians, Jews, Muslims, and all of the imams, because this violence has to be addressed. It's a public health crisis, and so faith leaders are located in these violent communities, faith institutions are located there, we have a responsibility and we have the ability to convene. The Reverend talked about convening all of the stakeholders in this balance. It's not just police, it's the corporate people that are in these communities. It's these grocery stores. Everybody has to come together. The schools are there.
Like Reverend talking about, you need more police, more teaching coaches. You give me a coach and 100 boys, do more than 10 police would do with them. You break them down in the groups, so I completely get excited about doing something. That's why Jonathan was running for Congress, my son.
Right.
Jonathan's running, he's arguing that what we need is more coaches, more or less for our children. The gym should be open in the summertime. Kids, all high school gyms should be open in the summertime. Kids can play ball and break down into teams. And the game can be about some objective sport, get their minds together, their hearts together. So preachers will fight. We think every school should have it should teach stock market game. You know, a bull and a bear is not just a ball team. You know what that means. Conflict resolution. How do you win by not fighting?
Yes.
The classic example is Chris Rock.
Yes.
Will Smith smacked him. And everybody, how was I done that? The fact that he smacked him. He could have changed his script and started talking trash about him. He could have tackled him on the stage. It'd been a big mess. But then he went and sat down, and the sheriff, we get Smith Lager. He said, don't touch him.
Yeah.
And the fact that Will Smith lost that fight.
Yeah.
And what's called won the bunch. The violent conflict resolution is a powerful proposition.
You know, I love that example, and it is, you know, a lot of discipline for Chris Rock to maintain his composure in that, the greater good. We're going to take a quick break, okay?
Okay.
Brothers and sisters, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with more interesting conversation. We'll be right back.
This portion of the Munir Muhammad Show is brought to you by East Lake Management, innovative solutions for building communities of the future today.
Searching for a restaurant that serves delicious home-cooked meals at an affordable price like your grandmother used to make? Well, the search is over. Stop by MacArthur's, the new talk of Chicago. We offer a warm atmosphere with friendly service and excellent meals ranging from carry-out, dine-in, or catering for your special events. MacArthur's is open 7 days per week from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. Come visit us at
5412
West Madison Street or call us at 773-261-2316.
You're the sweetest little granddaughter in the world. You're everything I hope You are so beautiful. I love you, Emma.
Eat and Run Chicken and Fish has the only chicken you can reheat and eat. It's good as mother's and better than the others. It is the chicken even mothers love. We've been serving the community for over 30 years. We cook with 100% vegetable oil and are open 7 days a week, including holidays. We're located at 87th and Hermitage. Contact us at 773-429-1812 for your takeout order, or let us provide all your catering needs. For the best chicken of your life, it's Eat and Run.
Brothers and sisters, we are back continuing our conversation with Reverend Jesse Jackson and our sister Janette Wilson. I wanted the convention, there's a lot of things going on. I know we talked about some, but there's also, we talked about what's happening on Father's Day and the gathering of men, but it's also something for women as well, right?
Yeah, women, the Women's International Luncheon was really founded by Mrs. Jacqueline Jackson many years ago. She's the one that preceded Reverend to a lot of the countries around the world. She took women to Addis Ababa.
Cuba first.
She went to Cuba
first.
Yeah.
She went to Africa first.
Okay. She was the advanced team.
Right. She was the scout team, the advanced
went to
team.
Vieques, went to jail in Vieques.
We were on some women at the women's luncheon. The morning is labor breakfast. After all, people, you work and get paid for working.
Yes, sir.
Too many workers are working poor. What's absurd to me is you're on Appalachia who will be working for Sons of Booker to become U.S. Senator in that state. White people who are making less than minimum wage. Coal mines dying every 6 hours. And yet they're still hanging on to a guy like Manchin, who was the coal owners, not the coal miners. So we work with those people. People can change. People can get better, they can do better. The examples, leadership would be a big factor in that. I remember my mother was sick and died in Greenville, South Carolina. I love to tell the story because I went to see Mom every day almost. So a white couple next door said, Reverend Jackson said, "You pray for my husband?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. I pray for him." She said, "Thank you." Went back to the next door, my mother was. Next week, "You pray for my husband?" "Yes, ma'am." Then she said, "Jesse, we were going to church you. Would you keep praying for us?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Now, I wish you that we are honest people. We ain't with the Obamacare business." I said, "Obamacare," she said, about Obama. I said, you're in the hospital on medical aid. He provided. They put his picture in, the dots in his picture. White people have just been so deceived by white leaders. And taking whiteness as over food and jobs and wages, so we shall endeavor to penetrate some of that, because more and more people are coming up to the reality. They've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, if you will, by white leaders.
Yeah. That's so true. Many people just aren't really aware. I think that's the importance of even coming and supporting and participating in the conference, because you can learn so much. And like you said, learn how to get access and what to ask for.
So since the Booker from Louisville's running for, he ran 7 times on the vote. He run for if we in fact vote our numbers. I was in Arkansas last week. Arkansas, Kansas will be here as well. Classic, they say voter suppression. What does that mean? It means people realize have to drive 30 miles one way. So they now have 3 rather than 15 precincts. They rotate. You may drive and it's not your day. Suppression. Yeah. People protected on the ballot. One woman had a stroke on the right side. Wrote the left hand on the name. Said that matched previous signatures. 7% of the veterans, those who are in the war now, not veterans, so that sent by mail. 7% was rejected. This thing, a black woman runs for Congress, able woman, black woman. They cut this up in 3 parts. 30% of the state's black. Never had a black congressperson. There are 4. So they hide behind. We will come Central High, but it's typical of the kind of schemes used, the violence used. So I think we miss people apathetic. Sometimes people can't read and write. I ran for president. My grandmother was not going to vote for me. Her son, she didn't want to be involved in politics. She lived without us so long, and she didn't want to go downtown. Where we asked her, when she got U.S. citizen and all that stuff. So Mother and I, we took her downtown to vote for her grandson president. She had to make an X. It was embarrassing to her. Remember, people cannot read and write, and they won't admit it. They're in our churches. They're using Jesus as a crutch for not learning. Jesus was literate. That's why he was able to teach his temple at 12 years old. Literacy is important. Literacy matters. So you know what your options are. Literacy matters.
glad you said that. And I know as we wind down on this segment, I want to make sure that we have the opportunity to encourage everyone not only to attend but to support. And I'd like for you to share the information where the people could go to learn out more about the convention.
Just go to rainbowpush.org, and all you have to do is register on there, and then you check what day you're going to attend. Because we want to social distance because of COVID, want to make sure we know our numbers. Saturday, we're looking for all graduates, parents, and supporters of young people. If you support young people in college, you need to come and celebrate them on
Graduation Day.
Yeah.
Graduation Day, because many students never had a graduation in 3 years.
His Kenwood won the city championship.
Yes, sir.
We bought them jackets. The jackets, the leather.
Letterman jackets.
Oh, Letterman jackets.
Yes.
Hey, and if you can't come, you will accept some donations.
Oh, yeah, you
right?
can donate. Right. Go to rainbowpush.org and donate.
Even as you're watching now,
or you can.
I can't watch. Reverend, love me enough to get a membership. It helps us help the people.
That's right.
And you got a QR code. You can donate using that, or you can text the word PUSH to 41444.
And you can also get a membership. As well, you can get one at Crow. Brothers and sisters, thank you so much for viewing. I'm your host, Jamil Muhammad, leaving you with the greetings of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum.